What's up, everybody? This is another trip to the dumps with Tech Dumps. If you like this video or any content that I have put out so far, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button. I know you've heard it here and I know you've heard it anywhere, but it would mean the world to me. That being said, let's jump right into this. Today, I'm going to be going over some easier tasks from the PicoCTF page. Great learning tool if you've never used it before. I'm going to start off by doing just some slow, easy ones. This one is, this one is just netcatting over to it, and boom, you've got it. A lot of these hacking CTF challenge, easier ones, are a lot of basic skills that are pretty nice to learn and would give you a really jump start into learning some of this stuff. I think it's really incredible some of the tools we have out there nowadays to learn some of this stuff without other experiences. Now, these beginning ones are definitely going to be your easier ones. You're going to connect over to something, you're going to string something. Along the way, we'll get harder as it goes, but let's just take it easy right now, build our way up. Here, we're just going to string for something and look grep for Pico. If you didn't know, grepping, we'll just find that little bit that you put at the end. So, say you grep for Pico, it'll pull anything that it finds with Pico. This one was a pretty fun challenge, not super hard. Uh, I did it even easier, just taking it, putting it exactly into there, and boom, copy, put in, find this one, Google how to, what do I need to do here, and put it in, go from there. Like I said, a lot of these are kind of like doing a crossword puzzle or Sudoku or something. It gives you just enough to get your brain moving, get you back to thinking, have a little bit of fun. Some of these easier ones, you could just launch it up while you're at work, maybe, and do a few, get a better score, see how you compete with other people, move on from there. It's a good way to pass the time. Skill building. Maybe you make a video like this, maybe you make a post, maybe you just hit it up on LinkedIn saying that you did it. That being said, anytime that you're doing something to better yourself is time well spent. And as you can see, pretty easy one to do. You don't really have to. I'm sure if you actually wrote some stuff and did this not just by Googling, it would be a little bit more challenging and possibly improve you even better. But I took the slightly lazy way through this and just got it knocked out. Sometimes it's just about getting it done, not so much about how you do it. All right, so that one was still relatively on the easy side. Points 200 on that one. Don't really know how they rank these points, but it feels definitely harder as you go up. I don't know if it's by how many people have done it, how many people have solved it, but I really like how they kind of move it their way up on this one. Another aspect that I really like of this is just a little bit more challenge based. I know Hack the Box also has little challenges that you can do that are maybe easier than taking a whole box, or say you're not interested in doing all that other hacking stuff, but there's little ones in here that you like. You can focus in on the little ones that you like. I mean, I tend to do that myself. Pick the ones that I kind of jive with and then stick with just those. Big reason for me to also be hitting on these, and these being cybersecurity challenges in specific, man, some general just skill tasks with computers. Um, October is Cybersecurity Month, which is pretty crazy. I feel like it's something that a lot of people aren't the biggest fans of at, say, like work or something. You always hear the old adage of it's not when you get hacked, but, or not if you get hacked, but when. And a big proponent of that is just when can you break down the person, not always when can you actually compromise the system or systems in place. That being said, as I'm doing this RSA key challenge, I think in this one we're just trying to crack into C, um, which will be pretty easy once once we realize it's not D that we're going for. Again, use your resources at hand. I had all this information. Why not put all the information in? Didn't also need to generate that private key from earlier. Could have just put it in here and got D to get in. Sometimes you gotta work around the system, get things. And C is obviously going to be what we're trying to solve for here to actually get the flag. Um, the other ones are what we need to input to find some of the other information. With E and N, you can get D. We don't really need P or Q in this one because we're not going to be dealing with the private key at all, I don't think. But yeah, after inputting this, you'll see that we get the correct answer, and that's perfect. It's what we were hoping for. But on to a side topic in Cybersecurity Awareness Month, Ubuntu, the forever great, holds a place in probably all of our hearts, was compromised for a little bit. I know this is a bit off subject while I'm doing these challenges, but I want to fill up some of this time with what's going on, and they had a little bit of a mess up. So I believe it was just a supply chain. During the live CD boot, there's a spot where you can select other languages, and they were apparently someone was able to get in some stuff there about not liking Ukraine very much and some stuff, fellatio, other things that we shouldn't talk about. It could have been way worse, other than just trying to hurt people's feelings, which I think is, it's bad, but it's not awful. They could have really done some other pretty awful things with, I don't know, switching around words and confusing people and making it harder. This one was kind of definitely wrong, but you can see that we are getting the correct answer now, and if we go ahead and copy that in and input it into Pico, we will get our answer that we needed and move on to the next one. For 400 flag, that felt on a bit of the easier side, but it wasn't. All right, and just like that, we're going to go ahead and switch over to the last one. I think this is the hardest one we end up doing, and it is along the same veins. Get an RSA public cert. From it, we're going to go ahead and get the private cert or the private key, and from that, we'll be able to get P and Q. I'm going to do some roundabout trying to get there. Um, I try to get P and Q from the private cert or the public cert, which it won't work. I think I go to one of the pages here that explains it a little bit better. I'm totally going to gloss over it though, because got to go fast. I wasn't trying to think these through. I wasn't really trying to knock them out slow and explain it. I just wanted to get you guys eyes on to some of the cool stuff that you can do on PicoCTF and some of the cool things that are out there. This is going to be just one of many probably that we go through this month, and maybe continuing on. A lot of this stuff is just really fantastic to use for building yourself up. That being said, I'm not really a cybersecurity person in any way, shape, or form. I am a systems administrator. I do deal a lot with security, obviously. We all should in the tech environment. And if you could leave a comment of what you do and what are some of the stuff that you do that is cybersecurity related, because I think a lot of us that aren't even in strictly the cybersecurity field, do a lot of stuff in cybersecurity. Personally, I run a software that manages, monitors the network, collects data on events, does alerting to certain things and signatures, has some stuff like local firewall and whatnot. And I am not at all in the cybersecurity field. Um, this tool is kind of like Sentinel One, which I also use quite a little bit at another company. Again, not at all in cybersecurity, but it's one of the things that is in my day to day. And I'm just interested if you guys run into anything as well that's kind of maybe out of the scope of what a normal whatever your job is, but relates also back to cybersecurity. I think it's a forever growing field, and if it's something you like, definitely try to break into it and get better. This is kind of the spot where I start going around in a little bit of a circle. I'm gonna try to get, I think it was ENN for no reason whatsoever. I think in my head, I think that I'm gonna put it back into the other site and it's gonna generate it for me. It probably will. Now that I'm thinking about it, the site probably did, but I think that will be after the point that I also already have P and Q and just don't put them in there at all. But this was a really fun challenge. I think a lot of these challenges are great and could really benefit you for, I don't know, maybe even just inspiration and getting you a little bit better with like doing little things on the day to day. In there, I totally don't have pub key. I think I have public key listed. Copying, pasting never pays off. Maybe it gets you there every once in a while, but it's going to slow you down in the long run most of the time, especially with something as short as this. I just get a little bit in the in my head when I feel like you guys are just you're there. You know when like a boss is behind you looking over your shoulder and you get all stressed out because you're afraid or worried? That's how I feel with you guys sometimes. You're judging me out there. And I know you are. You can say to the otherwise, but you're like, hey, this guy, why am I watching him? And I'm asking you that too. But if you've made it this far, let's swing back to the beginning. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, leave a mean comment, just saying how much you dislike me for trying to get P and Q out of a public cert. Say, hey, stupid, that won't work. I think I realized that as soon as I did type that out, though. I kind of was like, ooh, I make no sense. And I don't. But once you give it the right information, it's going to give you the right information. I took a CISM course at my work not too long ago relating to cybersecurity. Not sure how I swung that. They were like, hey, do you want to go on this? Do you want to do this? Of course. Hands down, why wouldn't I? Great course to go on. Wouldn't cover the cert, so I'm holding off until they will, which is hopefully soon, and then I'll definitely take the cert test. I'm of the mind of if it wasn't one I was planning on getting, probably not going to use my own money to take it, just spur of the moment thing. But I think it's definitely great. It was a lot less in depth than when I took CISSP. And just to let you all know now, I did fail CISSP. It was an interesting time in my life, though. I was probably 2 years into being a systems administrator, and someone had a free key for me to take. They were like, "You want to chance it? You seem pretty on the ball. Caveat, got to do it now." I failed it. It was by far a super hard test. I think I failed three of the 8 domains, and I haven't tried again since. And I think that's one in the future I will definitely try to tackle. Maybe if I try to get more into cybersecurity at some point. At that point, I was really hoping to, and well, I think we all take our own paths to get places. I kept doing systems administration work and still am, where there's nothing wrong with that. I've tried a few times to switch over, and yeah, sometimes it can be a hard field to crack into, especially when well, I guess you don't always have the right knowledge to show. Maybe you're not saying the right things. Don't beat yourself up over that. I copy and paste everything over from this, and I also realized that's just completely didn't need to happen because I already had uh, P and Q. I just refrained from putting them into the correct site first. When we put it in here, we'll think that it's going to work. P and Q, plop it in. But no, they hit you with a big, you have to click the hint. Try switching it. And once we switch it, we will see what we were wanting to see, and great success. But that is it, folks. If you like this video, again, I know I'm beating it like a dead horse. I would love to have a follow, and I would am just so thankful that you took time out of your day to watch this and spend some time with me. Hopefully, we keep this going in the future, and we can make a thing of this. All right, Tech Dumps out.